The Narcissist versus the Screenshot. As a consequence of my excellent video, Why the Narcissist Believes You Are a Liar, sensible and inquiring minds also raise the scenario of, okay, I understand, HG, from what you've explained there, why the narcissist maintains that the victim is the liar. Don't like it. Crazy perspective, but understand that it's the narcissist's perspective. Okay, so far so good. But what about if some alternative evidence, independent evidence, is shown to the narcissist? What about, for instance, if you provide a screenshot demonstrating that the narcissist wrote something earlier that day? So you provide evidence that the text was sent confirming something or denying something, that it was written on social media or sent in an email, that you gathered that screenshot. What happens then? Well, I've actually covered this in the video, The Narcissist Twin Lines of Defense. However, I will expand upon this to help you gain added insight and understanding as to what is going on. And whilst this video is entitled The Narcissist versus the Screenshot, in a way it could be entitled The Narcissist versus any other form of independent evidence. So what I'm about to explain to you would cover the word of somebody else, a witness statement from somebody else, a police report, a medical report, telephone log, a video recording, an audio recording, and of course the aforementioned screenshots. So, where there is a scenario, as I explained in the video Why the Narcissist Believes You Are the Liar, where you have threatened the narcissist's control verbally, then the narcissist moves through the assertions of control to reject and nullify your threat to the narcissist's control. And the starting point, being the first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense, is denial. So if you were to say to the narcissist, you should have been here at 8 o'clock and it's now midnight, the narcissist will deny that there was ever any agreement that you would meet up at 8 o'clock. And you basically have the to and fro of, yes, we agreed, no, we didn't, yes, we agreed, no, we didn't. And that goes on until either you back down, frustrated and upset, or the narcissist moves to the third assertion of control and storms off. You can't point to any external evidence to support your claim. It's your recollection and your say-so, and the narcissist just keeps denying it. There will, of course, be instances where you are able to support your verbal assertion by referring to some additional evidence. So, let's take an example of where the narcissist is with an intimate partner primary source, and the narcissist has placed the individual, the victim, in the sustained devaluation and is messing around, is making the beast with two backs elsewhere, is playing hide the sausage with somebody else. The intimate partner primary source suspects something has been going on and has done a little bit of detective work and has managed to procure a recording of the narcissist locking lips, trying to find the breakfast of the intimate partner secondary source ordered a little secret with his tongue, and some footage of him kissing and canoodling with some mystery blonde in a bar. The victim confronts the narcissist. You have been cheating. Of course, that threatens the narcissist's control. Therefore, what happens? The three assertions of control. He goes for a direct assertion of control through denial. What are you talking about? I haven't been cheating. Oh, yes, you have, asserts the victim once again, issuing challenge fuel. She's upset, she's angry. And the victim again issues the denial, a direct assertion of control to get her to back down. We'll fast forward a little bit. This goes backwards and forwards. She alleges, thus threatening his control. He keeps denying. Voices are raised, tears are flowing. It's an angry exchange, and the narcissist keeps denying, and then, of course, moves to the projection. You're crazy. You're making things up. I'm sick of you accusing me of having affairs. You're the one that's having an affair. You're just trying to cover up for yourself. Triangulation and so forth. So, on this occasion, having suffered too many of those conversations in the past, the now somewhat wiser, but not completely wise, victim produces her telephone. And following the fifth denial in a line, says to the narcissist, well, what about this then? And she produces the evidence that shows him kissing, and it's not just a kiss on the cheek, it's full locked on lips, really going for it, hands roaming everywhere, in a bar, and that's been filmed. And it can clearly be seen that it's the narcissist with some mystery blonde. And therefore, the evidence is plain to see. As I explained, this could be a witness statement. It could be a screenshot of an exchange, something the narcissist has written. What happens at this point? Let's deal with the lesser or mid-range narcissist first, the unaware narcissist. The denial was issued as part of that first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense. That hasn't worked, because the attempt to directly assert control over the victim has failed, because she keeps arguing back. Now she produces evidence that isn't her say-so. At that point, in the unconscious, if the narcissism had a voice, it would do this. Shit. The victim's broken through the first line of defense. We can't now maintain a denial any longer because she's referred to alternative evidence that demonstrates that's quite clearly our narcissist. Just as a side point, if it wasn't entirely clear, the narcissist might continue to issue denial going, that's not me, that's somebody else. But it's quite patently him. So the narcissism, in that moment, if it had a voice, says, damn, she has broken through the first line of the defense. We can't maintain that. We must fall back to our second line of defense, which will be any other manipulation. And so, what it then does, the narcissism instantaneously instructs the narcissist to utilize some other form of manipulation to reject accountability and to nullify the continuing threat to control. So let's take a middle lesser narcissist. With his limited repertoire of manipulations, he would grab the phone out of the hand of the victim, throw it on the floor. Damage to property is the manipulation. It breaks. And then would look the individual in the eye and go, what are you talking about? Crass, rudimentary, childish, indeed. But it remains effective. Because then what would happen is that the victim will go, what have you just done? And he would stand there unresponsive. She said, you've been conducting an affair. There was footage of you kissing that woman. No, there wasn't. And this, although this may seem extraordinary, this is what will happen because of the fact that we compartmentalize. So, when she produced the evidence on the telephone, let's say that was at 10 p.m. Moments later, he destroys that evidence. 10 p.m. doesn't exist. It's in the past. It's happened. Separate compartments which are not connected in the world of the narcissist. And therefore, we're now in a new moment. It is as if that evidence never existed in the first place. And the narcissism will cause him to deny that it ever did. And she will say, you just saw it. Saw what? The footage of you kissing that woman. Don't know what you're talking about. And the narcissism will compel the narcissist to reject it in that rudimentary fashion. because of the use of the manipulation of damaged property, followed up with further denial, because the evidence is in the past now. It's gone. It doesn't exist. And it never existed because of the revision of history that the narcissism will cause in the mind of the narcissist. The victim may well go, "This is ridiculous," and walk off, thus giving the narcissist control. If she continues to go on and on, saying, "There was evidence, I saw it, you're just being stupid, you're denying something that I've seen," that middle lesser would probably resort to physical violence and lash out in order to assert control over her. Again, a further direct assertion of control, or storm up the stairs and saying, "I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit." And his withdrawal asserts control. So even when confronted with different evidence that supports her position, that type of narcissist, the middle lesser, would destroy the evidence and then claim it never existed. And the narcissism causes that to happen by virtue of the self-defense mechanism, which gets rid of accountability and issues further denials and revises history. What about if you're dealing with a mid-range narcissist? The mid-range narcissist is probably more likely to do something like this. "What do you think you're playing at, recording me? That's really creepy. That's really controlling. Why are you doing that? You're always trying to tell me what to do. You never let me do anything. Is it any wonder that I go elsewhere?" And although there is an admission that he is locking lips with somebody else, he still makes it the victim's fault. Because he says, "Were it not for you, I wouldn't have to go and do that." He projects with the issue of "she's controlling." Labels, "You're creepy. That's weird, snooping on me," and puts the victim on the defensive. And often the victim will fall for it because of high emotional thinking, trying to defend themselves against the accusation. And then the issue about the infidelity becomes lost in an argument about the behaviour of the victim, thus enabling the narcissist to assert control through deflection, projection, blame shifting, labelling, and any other manipulation which might come to hand. In some instances, a mid-range narcissist, particularly middle range type B, might put their hands up and say, "I'm so sorry, I don't know what came over me, but I was drunk," blame shifting, "and she just came onto me before I knew what was happening. She had a tongue down my throat. I was trying to fight her off. The video doesn't look like that. Oh, I think you must have stopped recording by that point." And although he appears to be admitting that he's done wrong, he's not. He's blame shifting. He's blaming the alcohol. He's blaming the other woman for coming on to him. He will probably issue false contrition. "I'm sorry, I didn't know what happened there. I couldn't help it. Don't know what came over me." Or move to blame shifting. "So what? It's nothing. You don't put out anymore. What am I expected to do? I have needs." Therefore, rejecting any sense of accountability. With the greater narcissist or the ultra, assuming they get caught in the first place, which is far less likely, in such a scenario, they of course realise that they've been caught out and they know what they've been doing. And they remain aware of that even when they'll be issuing the relevant denial in the first place. So when they're accused of having an affair and saying, "No, I haven't," they know that they have. They know that they're lying, but as I explained in the video Why the Narcissist Believes You're the Liar, the greater and the ultra know that they are. They can do that so quickly and with conviction. And because of the absence of conscience, and because the greater and the ultra positively enjoy the game playing, the denial is issued in that way. There's just an extension of that when it comes to the production of the video or any other evidence, a screenshot, etc. The greater or the ultra, and again, it's rarer that they would be caught out, but it does happen. Where that happens, the greater or the ultra would again fall back to an alternative manipulation. And it might be along the lines of blaming that other person. "She came onto me, what can you expect? A man as good looking as I? You should be proud of the fact that people are attracted in me. I'm disappointed actually that you get so worked up about it." or diminution. Oh, that was nothing. Come here. And then lays on the charm and takes the victim up to bed and gives them a good time to cause them to forget all about it, brushing it over it, diminishing the impact of it. Of course, the great and the ultra know full well that they've been caught out, but don't care because of the sense of entitlement. There is no revision of history in their minds as there is with the lesser or the mid-range narcissist. They are fixed with that knowledge, but because of the absence of conscience and guilt and remorse, and because of their increased skill set, the great and the ultra are able to deal with it in such a way. So, in an instance where additional evidence is pointed to by the victim to corroborate their stance and to confirm that the narcissist is guilty as charged, the narcissist's self-defense mechanism of narcissism, of avoiding accountability, maintaining a sense of entitlement, and nullifying that threat to control will still remain in place. It might be, for instance, that police report, that cop has bent. That witness statement, she's a liar. Medical report, the doctor's incompetent, doesn't know what he's talking about. You'll have heard such things said. Ultimately, the narcissist can never, ever be held to account. And it doesn't matter how strong the evidence is that you've got. Because in the court of the narcissist, he will never be found guilty. Because the narcissism will not let it happen. Of course, elsewhere, the court of public opinion, a court of law, that's a different matter entirely. And that is where certain narcissists will indeed come unstuck. But when it comes to making the narcissist accept that they're at fault, you will never ever succeed. Your verbal accusation will be dealt with in the manner as I've explained in the video why the narcissist believes that you're a liar, and when you back it up with a screenshot, with a witness statement, with an affidavit, with video footage, audio footage, whatever it is, the narcissist will reject it, and the style of rejection will depend upon the school of narcissists you're dealing with. But rest assured of this, the narcissist will not suddenly, genuinely accept that they're at fault. More usually, there will still be a maintenance of avoiding it, and where there is an apparent mea culpa by the narcissist, it is only false contrition. And certain mid-range narcissists may say, I'm sorry, I've caught out, I won't do it again, please forgive me. And of course they'll go and do it again, because they have no emotional empathy. So that's the position when it's the narcissist is against the screenshot. In the world of the narcissist prevails, because the narcissist creates that alternative reality whereby accountability can never, ever, ever lie with the narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.